hear you.
What?
He doesn't need his microphone.
Can I skip anything?
I don't even know where they have it anymore.
They have it on public access channel.
Oh, I didn't even know there was such a thing anymore. Because like our board meetings are.
You can watch them online.
They're not on.
Public access.
Yeah, we don't have an access to them anymore.
All right, you're in business.
Okay. All right, we'll call this rescheduled meeting of the Parks and Conservation Committee to order. First schedule of business is called to order. So that's you, right?
Nope. No, pledge, you just did it, Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, okay, all right. So please join me in and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we'll call roll.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller. Yeah? Here. Paul Perry is here. Commissioner Boyer.
Here.
Although I don't know if she's a commissioner.
No.
Commissioner Erdman.
Here. Thanks for the.
Commissioner Schrader.
Here.
Alderman Hamel.
Here.
Commissioner Whipple. I have to call him, but he's not here. Okay. Okay. Statement of public notice, the meeting was posted in accordance with open meeting laws last week. Do we know the exact date?
April 3rd.
April 3rd. And distributed to all media who are interested in it. So we'll move forward with the approval of the November minutes. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. New business, Muskego Rotary Club Service Project, Danoon Bridge.
So just to let you know, he sent me an email today that he cannot make the meeting. So we're deferring to the May meeting on 5/7/19. So he'll be here or another representative to present to you guys on that date. So plan for a meeting in May, 5/7/19. So.
We'll take it up in May. Next order of business is for the Idle Isle Shelter and Picnic Area Rentals.
So in October meeting, we talked about why Idle Isle had not been rented before. Nobody could come up with a reason why, and I went through old notes as far back as I could find. Nothing was ever written in stone why there were not rentals. So we kind of had talked about making that a place to make available for rental because so many people do use it as such. And so proposing doing 4 picnic areas, 1 underneath the shelter and 3 within the park. We would have picnic tables with it like cemented into the ground in places so they cannot be moved, with a sign that we can put up saying that it's reserved for specific use. And then people can use the park accordingly. So we would be ordering some posts to put into the ground with it's like a clipboard thing that would display reserved by a certain individual. The map is attached that indicated the locations. So between the shelter and the boat launch, underneath the shelter, right next to the shelter, and then in the new pavilion, which will be constructed hopefully by the end of May.
It appears Alderman Borgman has comments on this.
It's a good thing.
Hello? To remove it, okay. All right. I just wanted to comment on the shelter one. Tomorrow night, the council is going to be talking about extending to a private property, the use of the shelter to make a restaurant. It would just be one more hurdle that we have to go through if you include the shelter in this proposal. So I would ask you to scratch that out on your list there, and maybe just consider the other things that were in that proposal and not the shelter. Otherwise, we got one group doing one thing and another group doing another thing. I talked to Tammy about it earlier, and she was just counting on the glacial pace of our bureaucracy to make sure that there wasn't going to be anything done this year. So she wasn't going to include it, but then it would just be a matter of taking it out next year. So I'm going to just ask you to scratch that out and leave that out for the time being.
So we'd have to amend, a motion to amend it excluding the shelter rental? Is that about right? Do we have a motion?
I'll motion that.
Do we have a second?
I have questions about that. I didn't know anything about the restaurant, so this is kind of like new to me. So I really can't vote on anything because I don't know anything about this. So that's my opinion.
Okay. Still looking for a second.
I'll second it.
Okay. So we need to vote on the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment to remove the shelter rental portion
Number 2.
from the proposal, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And Commissioner Miller abstain?
I'm abstaining too because
We have
I
two
want
up.
more information.
2 abstain votes. And now we need a motion, correct, for the amended portion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? I think it still passes. Okay, status of projects. Tammy, take it away.
Oh, that's not me, it's Scott.
Oh, Scott, I'm sorry.
Yep. I'm gonna go through all this stuff and then you can ask me, but I just want to kind of give you a status of all the projects so the first one will be a plethora of new signage wherever. So just to kind of give you an idea, for boat launches, we're getting new kiosks at Idle Isle, Boxhorn, Dunoon, and Durham. So all these will get really nice kiosks. They're actually made by a local firm called Landmark Studios. They're in the industrial park. They use that recycled, I guess it's milk cartons. So this is the stuff that you put up. It lasts forever. It goes through winters. Our kiosks has been just, if they're not even existent, they're terrible. So those 4 will be going up just for the boat launches. For the trails, the We Energy trails, there's a lot of these wood signs that look like they're falling over. So we have all new metal signs. They're all been ordered. Why this is it's a good time to say this is April, May is a good time for us to put up all signs for DPW. So we're getting a ton of We Energy metal ones all along the trails there. For the parks, Veterans, Lions, Old Town Hall, Sand Hill, Kurth, Dunoon, Bloom, Horn, Manchester, Jensen, Moreland, Park Arthur, and Idle Isle are all getting new signs. And these are going to be this recycled milk cartons. The signs that are out in a couple of these places, like Park Arthur, we might have to make a little bit slight adjustments to it. Some of the statutes no longer hold true, but they can kind of grind off some of the statute stuff and still keep the signs. But they're just adding more additional signs to all our parks. They're still keeping the same color scheme. They're not wild. They're, your green, your white, your brown. So, but it's just something that we're really lacking with a lot of our parks, the signs. So that's just the first one. The second one, Little Muskego Lake access points. So there's like 18 or so that are around Little Muskego Lake, and sometimes they're very hard to identify. So what we got approved in capital, and actually they are here, is there's going to be a nice sign that if you're along the lake, you can see, oh, this is lake access point number 1. And also, if you're driving up on the road, you can see that it's lake access point number 1. So what that's kind of doing is we want people to, if you're out boating and there's a pier, you can know that you can stop there. Also, there'll be 4 boundary markers that we're going to put in there too. And those are just to kind of define the area so that people know when you're on a lake access point, what kind of area you're going to be in. Besides that too, we got 50 new garbage cans and 40 new picnic tables. In some of these lake access points, we're going to throw a picnic table and a garbage can so that we control our garbage and make it kind of welcoming. There'll also be a lot of landscaping work. Some of the, we've taken a lot of ash trees down, and also just some of the areas just need to be cleaned up. So that was number 2 on it. New park pavilions. So Idle Isle is going to get a 16 by 16 hexagon, and that is kind of be closer to the ADA fishing pier. So that's planning on going in. Hopefully the frost is out of the ground. That one has been ordered. We're just waiting to do the concrete work. Once we do the concrete work, we'll get that pavilion up ASAP. We're trying to get all this stuff in April, May, so you can take advantage of it during the summertime. Park Arthur will get a 20 by 20 pavilion, and that one will be located more by what, 1, 2, 3? That area 1, 2, 3, you're kind of like isolated. You're kind of a little bit further away. It tends that people, when they do tournaments or whatever, they set up a kind of like it's just a portable tent, and then they sell their goods there. This will be a pavilion for them to do that at. So, let's see. Idle Isle will get a split rail fence just to delineate the parking lot. We're looking at a couple costs right now, but that is part of the plan too. New playground set for Park Arthur. So, Park Arthur, you always got baseball kids, there's other kids there, there's no playground set. So we got a playground set. It actually is already at DPW. We're just choosing the location of where we're going to put it, and that one will be installed as well. Kurth, if you haven't been out there, the baseball field, they got a new fence in the out that's already been installed. So there's new fence out there, and that one playground set, it's kind of terrible. It's in a hole. So it literally gets filled up with water. So we're going to just kind of adjust it, add some ground, and just kind of raise it up so it's not in a kind of wet mess right now for the kids. Sand Hill Park Pavilion. That will, besides getting a sign, we're going to get an electrical service to it so the pavilion can have electrical service, and we need to add a light pole. The park's open late, and we don't have a light pole there, just one for the entranceway in the parking lot. So we'll get that one done. Basketball court painting. Lee Hubka Park, Schmidt Park, Old Town Hall, Bloom Park, Moreland Park, and Park Arthur. They're going to get basketball courts, either it's the full one or just a half one printed. We'll need to add hoops at Park Arthur and Moreland Park, just to let you know. So all that is being scheduled to get work done. Last one, beer garden. So we did an RFP. What happened was first time we did it for one time in the spring of 2017. Then we gave that contract to that person to do 2018 again. The vendor, we wanted to go and explore other options. We wanted the vendor to be more proactive with us. So we did an RFP. We sent it out to every microbrew place that you could probably think of. We got 3 people that submitted proposals. 2 of the 3 said that they could do all the dates. So then we're like, okay, well, one's done. We interviewed the 2. We had them both come in. We sat down with them. We talked with them over their game plan. Both of them really were focused on saying, this is our only beer garden. So we'll focus on making sure that we take care of everything, schedule all the food trucks, schedule all the live music. They want us to, it's kind of a great opportunity for us. Instead of like the last place, they also did county parks. So we were like the afterthought. So we wanted, allowed us to be a person to work with that we could just do directly, and they could focus just on us. Now the brewery's it's called Component Brewery. It's located in the Lincoln Warehouse in Bayview. One of the owners actually lives in Muskego, which is kind of nice too, because he wants this to be successful, because he knows if he doesn't, his neighbors are going to probably, and he reached out to us when we said that we were going to put an RFP out, yes, and he goes, he wanted to really take it, and this would be their only beer garden. and they've been in business for about a year. And if you know where that place is, it literally is in the building that was right across from Horny Goat, which will now be the big Michaels Corporation. It's a huge warehouse down there. And this is the one that they just want to focus on this beer garden. They are promoting this both all over online and at their beer tap room, and they want to believe that this tap room could be like just an extension of their tap room in the beer garden. Again, it's only 3 times a year, and it's only on a Friday, Saturday. So I think we tried to do 4 years in the past, if that remember right, and we just cut it down to 3. We just found out, 3 times Friday, Saturday. Was it 4 to 9 on Saturdays? 4 to 9 on Fridays. So nothing too big. Again, all of them at Veterans. Veteran has the best playground set, it has the best bathrooms, has the most parking. It's win-win for everything in a beer garden for the people to do it. And we kind of got that system down. I don't know if you wanted to try their beer, to tell you the truth. They're not in the stores. You could go down to the tap room and then you can grab some and bring it back. But they'll have a nice variety of beers, and I believe they'll provide soda water, and I think they'll do a gluten-free beer. Was it Grist out of Sprecher Brewery? Will be their gluten-free beer. I believe they can't do a wine because that's another license. And I think even cider, we asked them to look into cider, and that'd be another license as well. So, anything else about that one?
They're also going to work with us for the 5K that we'll be doing at the September date. So the dates are May 31st and June 1st, July 12th and 13th, and September 20th and 21st. So the 20th, we'll have our 5K and it'll have like a German theme to what's going on. It's our Flitzen 5K is what we call it. So
Yep.
he's got quite a bit of food already lined up, music already lined up. So.
And the contract, just to let you know, contract goes to Finance and Common Council for approval tomorrow. So, but just to kind of let you know, we did the RFP process, and we also encourage him to do, if he has any new beers, to do a opening. We found successful is like, if he creates an Oktoberfest beer, have it at our September. Hey, let's kick off the beer garden here with a new, marketing thing. So.
I think he said he's on tap at Hale House.
Is he? Yes, he's
they're
on tap
at Hale House.
Hale House too. It's called Component Brewing. So.
Do you know what kind of food they are going to be providing?
It's all going to be food trucks, so it'll be, they tentatively have lined up Maddie's, Loompa City, and Pigtails right now. And then a couple of ice cream, U-Scream ice cream, and Drift Pies are also lined up.
That's all the information. I think I went through the parks. I gave you a pretty good one. I think the other thing too is important is, and I know it's already hard to start thinking about this, but we're April. Capital is not too far away. If you hear anything suggestions for capital, please start getting to me in the next one, because we start putting our list together in May. June, July, we're already going in front of the board to ask for these things. And, we're just trying to make sure that we cover all the bases for all the requests. And you guys probably hear more than I do, and it's always good to ask, what do you hear? What are we looking for to do? Even if it's just improvements of, like, one other thing which is kind of a weird one, but all the parks buildings are getting rekeyed this year. It's been, I would have to say, just keys everywhere. And so we are trying to have a control of things. And so that work we're hopefully getting done in the next couple weeks. And then we can start over of like who gets a key, and also one master key that can open up almost all the parks building instead of having 7 keys. It's kind of like to walk around with a chain of keys, and we're just trying to make it a little bit more easy for that. And another person brought up today, just to kind of let you know, is, even the bathrooms out there, they have the old metal between, the bathrooms. Well, they're aging, they're not good. All the new plastic stuff that you can see in City Hall, they last forever. they don't get mold, they don't get water damage. Those are those things that help out in keeping those pavilions and the bathrooms for a long time. One other note I'd like to make, this year, we have had some vandalism at the parks. It's been probably more than normal. We do have 4 cameras up at Idle Isle. 2 more are getting up there. I believe Park Arthur is going to get them, and Moreland are getting them this year, just to let you know. We're putting in the plans to get them more. We've got some vandalism at Park Arthur, Lions Park, Danoon. It's becoming an issue. We also are, if we can't get the cameras up right away, we're looking to get some trail cams that some of the DPW guys who are more of the experienced hunters to get up, just to kind of catch these guys. It's just, and we're hoping to catch 1 or 2 right away, and then it'll just put an end to it. But just I want to let you know, I'm sure that you probably heard about it, but there's just been some more vandalism than normal.
They were on the roof of Lions Park this weekend.
So, we lost a couple, we got some really nice benches put in for the disc golf, and we lost 2, I think, this year. And these are these recyclable ones, and we are even bolting these down with like pretty good lock systems, like not that you can just run and go get something out of the hardware store, you know, kind of like more of the playground locks. And we got some people that drove over some of the fields over there at Danoon that just caused damage and stuff. So it's a battle. So, but cameras, we did use the cameras this past year, and we did catch several that broke into Idle Isle concession stand. So they do work really well. So I think that's it. Do you have anything else? That's all we have. Any questions? And then director's report will be. No idea. Yep, that's all I have. So the next.
Okay, thank you. Moving along to the director's report, Tammy.
Our program guide just went to the printer before I walked in here, so we were a day behind because we were having some issues with our ads, and then we have a full page, back page about the beer garden, so we were waiting to get a final layout of that. So I always like to say we're one of the only rec departments in the entire state that does their book in-house. Most use a typesetter, and so you're kind of rigid on your formatting, and if you take a program out, you have to put a same kind of program in that would fit on that page with those type of classes. With us doing it, we get to move everything around. So we kind of look at the trends of people who take dance might also take gymnastics, and we put those like things together. So just went to the printer. We'll get our proof tomorrow. Should be in mailboxes by hopefully the 18th of April. And then we start registration on the 23rd of April. We know it's spring break. A lot of people will be gone, but that was the printer tells us when we get in the rotation of when we can start printing our stuff, so that's where we ended up this year. We beat Milwaukee. Their 300,000 copies get printed on Friday. We'll be printed on Thursday, so that's good. The school district has made a decision to take over several of the rec programs that we have done for 15 plus years and are offering them through the district with their summer school program or as standalone summer camps. So we know that's going to affect our budget because we did make a percentage of the money from all of those camps, and we won't get that, and it's very difficult to offer the same programs at the same location at the same time. So we're just going to be seeing what happens throughout this next year, how that's going to change things. We're still doing all of our stuff the same. We just will see how their facility use increases and what that's going to mean for us. And we've tried to get as much info out. We have kayaks and stand-up paddle boards for rent at Idle Isle. People can also take them to a different location if they'd like, but they have to trailer them and take them. We don't do that. But we had a handful of rentals last year. We're hoping with the kiosks and things at Idle Isle, we'll have the availability to put a lot more signage out there so people know that they're available for rent. And they come and rent them for a couple hours. We had a couple of families. We had a Girl Scout troop that needed to do something for a badge that came and rented them. So it's a nice amenity to have right there on the lake and be able to use them. So
Do you rent them right at At Idle Isle then? Okay.
Yep, only when we're here, because they have to come here and pay to rent them, and then we got to go down and give them to them. We have no staff there.
So when are they available then?
So 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, and then on some Saturdays and Sundays, we have lessons, kayak and stand-up paddleboard, so then we can rent at that time when the instructor's there, 'cause she can check out equipment. That's it.
Anything else? Any questions for Tammy? No? Any new business we need to discuss? Old business? All right, I guess we can make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
A second.
There you go.
You've been waiting all day, haven't you, for that?
I didn't think of it till just then. But I'm wrong, baby.
You did break it.
What,
Got any wood glue?
what did they? May 7th for the next one? Or- That's what I wrote down. That's a Tuesday.
Do they usually meet on a Monday?
Yeah.
I think that's
No. Okay, well. Is the meeting on a Monday?